𝓬𝓪𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓬𝓮. Thank you guys so much for joining me here for your reading. I have some really interesting messages that I've anchored from the astral realm last night. So we're going to go ahead and decode them fresh here and overlay this with the tarot. So the first scene I saw this nose piercing that I wear, okay? And a fun fact around this nose piercing and just nose piercings in the metaphysical realm is that they translate into a sense of your identity, okay? Nose piercings talk about your identity, and I'm hearing you've broken free. It feels like you've burst out some kind of skin. I'm also seeing it like there's an upgrade in your skins. It's funny because I'm seeing it like a video game view where I'm hearing outgrown certain skins, you've outgrown a certain identity, and as you do that, you're also having to release certain attachments to that old version. And this is super interesting. Spirit's showing me right now that there's certain things that are not compatible with this new skin, and it's not that it's a new skin, but Spirit showing me, you know, that game that you used to play as a child, and I forget what it's called. I think Pass the Parcel. Oh, Pass the Parcel. So get ready to receive something, and this is like a new octave of yourself in some way, but Pass the Parcel is coming up right now, where if you haven't played it, you basically have this parcel, right? It's like this gift in the centacle, right, within you, and then you have all these different layers of wrapping paper. This is so interesting. And you kind of pass this around a circle, and each person is passing this parcel, right? They're passing this gift around, and there's like, oh, who's gonna get the gift, you know? Like, who's gonna get the gift? Everyone's unwrapping things layer by layer, and this is like an aspect of yourself, right? I feel like you're like a flower and you're being peeled back, you know, petal by petal, and it's revealing, you know, the center core essence of you've always innately been, and you're removing all of the layers of whom you are not, right? The shell of who you innately are at your core. And yeah, it's super interesting. So it's almost like there's certain things that are not compatible with this skin that I'm hearing like stored within your inventory. So maybe it's certain belief systems that, you know, are actually not aligned with this version of yourself. You know, I'm seeing you kind of look within the quantum field right now from a higher landscape, and see all different kind of infinite fractals of yourself and extensions of yourself. And, you know, there's certain ones that are aligned with, you know, for example, like a dream job or like a dream partner or a dream location, something of this nature for you. And the version of self that is existing within that timeline, may hold different traits or qualities than you had been, and there's something around you're now in resonance because you're holding that before your arrival at that destination. And I'm hearing it's you holding that within you that actually gives reality and informs reality by your frequency, to begin to reconfigure itself, to adjust to you. It's almost like you're emitting some kind of frequency into the quantum field. That's what I'm seeing. Like you're emitting some kind of signal, and reality is responding to that signal. It's like matter is responding to your frequency, to your mind, into your emotions, and this next available version of self that is readily available for you to embody in the now. And I'm seeing that's leading to a shortcut of events, but there are certain things that are being cleared. I'm seeing like a tower moment for you. There's certain things that are being cleared, and literally from your energetic force field, because they're like a contradiction, you know. That's what I'm seeing. It's almost like I'm seeing somebody grow as well right now, many shoe sizes. So it's almost like you've grown. I'm seeing overnight many different shoe sizes where you literally cannot even fit back in your old shoes even if you wanted to. And shoes in the metaphysical realm represent like your spiritual path, the path that you're walking, right? How that's connected to your mind and mentality. It's like your consciousness is expanded to new dimensions, but it can no longer return back to its old form. So anyway, with this Pass the Parcel energy, and this nose piercing, here we go. I lost the screw that held the white sapphire that I have in here, right? It's like made out of white gold and white sapphire, and I was kind of guided. I got years ago, but I remember when I was first kind of looking for this piercing and I was guided to get it, I wanted a diamond one, but they didn't have it in stock and they had white sapphire, so I was like, okay, let me get that. And then I came to realize, like many months later, that white sapphire is an energy in regards to you know, it carries this opening power of the mind and your thoughts, especially when it comes to you being adjusting to a new reality. It's basically a stone of purity, renewal. It helps you when it comes to new beginnings and being able to forge and pave a new path for yourself, especially one that is aligned with your, you know, spiritual essence. That's the energy that's coming through. So yeah, it holds a lot of value, and because it begins to open you to new dimensions, which are just new frequencies, and also those origins, right, of those frequencies and dimensions that exist within you. So I'm seeing like you opening up to different octaves of yourself, right, as well. That's coming through. But anyway, I lost the screw for this in the astral realm, and I was looking for the screw that held the gem together, and eventually I found the rest of the piercing. It had kind of like dropped down some kind of side thing, and I had wanted to get it repaired, so I went to go and get the piercing repaired so that I could wear it. So this represents, it's almost like you're adjusting to a new identity of some kind, you know, that's the energy that's coming through. And then in the second scene, oh yeah, and you're having to trust as well, because we had telescope, so I pulled a card behind this with 528Hz, which is about the love frequency and what decisions you make at this version of yourself for the highest acts of self-love. Like, how are you showing up for yourself in ways that you haven't done prior, right? How would the best version of yourself, right, the highest possible version of yourself, the most expanded version of yourself show up for itself? You know, what does that look like, and how can you embody that in the now? And the telescope talks about, you know, your intuition and zooming in, right? It's like you're zooming into other aspects of yourself that are unseen through the eyes of the human, and they can only be foreseen through the eyes of the soul. So a great traveler is the one that knows how to travel with the mind, right? And I feel like you're traveling mentally, utilizing your imagination to get a preview of other quantum paths, right? Infinite quantum paths that are encoded into your field right now. And you're seeing you kind of like act or embody certain traits or characteristics that are actually collapsing that path into your experience. It's like reality. It's like you don't align with a reality aligns with your internal state of being. That's what's coming through. So yeah, this talks about seeing further than the human eye, right? And knowing that you hold the mental power, right, with your mind to see beyond what our eyes are able to, and also tuning in again to other planetary extensions of yourself, right? Parallels or versions or fractals of yourself existing in other planetary star systems. So that's what's going on, you know, it's like through the eyes of love, you know, that's what I'm seeing it with telescope and 528, which is super interesting, where it's like you're kind of, yeah, you're realizing that everything was necessary and a part of the journey to get you to where it is that you are now. Now, the second scene, I saw a hotel, and the hotel was literally right in front of the Sphinx, like it was on the plateau of Giza, right? So the Sphinx was on an ancient land, like this hotel was built on an ancient land. So I'm hearing this was like a temporary construct that you've been navigating the matrix from within. Maybe it's like a certain personality or identity that you had shaped based off of survival, but you're no longer looking at life through the eyes of survival. You're able to look at life through the eyes of the soul, and I'm seeing you do that about 90% of the time. So when you do look at life through the eyes of survival, because you're always filtering through these different dimensions and octaves of self, like you're always constantly changing the filter in which you view reality through, you're very aware of that. So I'm seeing at this point in your journey, when fear comes up, you're realizing, okay, like this isn't actually me, it's like, you know, just one localized version of myself, right? That belongs to this physical vessel, in which I'm not. I'm the timeless consciousness navigating this physical vessel. This vessel is my all, but it's also my nothing, and I'm hearing it's also my everything. So it's almost like a paradox in that way, but you can hold space for this localized version of self, realizing that you're not bound or limited by matter, and you're not bound and limited, I'm hearing, by this dense lower matter, because your plasma origins are also matter, but it's in a high octave. So it's almost like I'm not bound to this frequency. I'm only bound by the belief that I'm bound to this frequency, right? I'm not bound by gravity, for I extend far beyond you know, this realm. You know, it's that type of energy. It's like almost like the mortal and immortal nature inside of yourself, and phasing in and out of these kind of different parallels. Anyway, this is something that you're becoming aware of, right? Because the hotels in the metaphysical realm basically represent like a temporary construct of some kind. So this is something that you had kind of embodied into. Maybe it was like, you know, this human spiritual amnesia, you know, that many of us had found ourselves in when we had incarnated into this physical vessel, right? This very dense plane. You were at risk of forgetting your etheric origins, but you've woken up from that. So when you do kind of look at life through that state of amnesia, right, or forgetting yourself as infinite potential, it's like you're able to quickly wake up consciousness, and you're almost like, hey, you know, awareness has become conscious of itself, and you begin to act very differently in this realm. So I'm seeing you become very identified with those different filters of perception, you know, the frameworks in which you're viewing reality through at any given moment in time. And then I also saw some kind of technology that basically allowed, and also this part I didn't actually remember until I went into meditation this morning, and then I remembered what happened in the astral and this scene, so I was really excited to retrieve and pull back this information. So some kind of technology that allowed these people to pave a new path, and the path was completely flooded and the road was very bumpy, and it was flooded previously, but they forged a new one. They made the road very smooth, and they were redirecting the water. So in this energy, it's almost as if you're paving a new path with this, you know, filter of perception. It's like you're paving a new path, and I'm hearing you're able to pave paths where they kind of have seemed impossible in some way, but there's something about I'm hearing suspending yourself into a quantum state, or consciousness into a quantum state. So there's something about your kind of, that's really funny with suspending. I'm seeing the hanged man energy for you as well, and this is linked to this next scene. I saw you doing I don't know if you guys have done like dead hangs, but it's where you hang from like, you know, like a pull-up bar, and you just like dead hang, you just hang there, and you had a record that couldn't be beaten out of everyone else there. It's like there was like a dead hang competition, and you won it, and you had a record that couldn't be beaten. And this is something that you're looking into mentally, where you're able to actually see what the human is capable of, right? The incredible potential of the human, when you're able to kind of integrate these non-physical and physical aspects of yourself, especially where you're able to actually physically take action and support your non-physical desires in this realm, and you can act from that heart space and allow your heart to gently guide you towards your chosen destination. Even in the presence of fear, you're still able to act upon that, right? It doesn't matter about fear being absent. It's about when fear is present, are you still acting congruently with your highest possible expression? So yeah, this could be you kind of redirecting the overwhelming feeling of the water, right? And you are the technology is what I'm seeing it. You are the key to be able to forge a new path for yourself. Like you hold that key within you, you hold that knowing, and you're coming back to that. So it's either you change your environment or your environment changes you, right? And the environment being the mind, right? It's almost like you're not having your mind, right, or fear shape you, but instead you're having love shape you, right? How are you living according to love or fear? Because you can see how, again, you're only bound by belief, right? So being bound by belief, right, essentially operating under these, you know, certain set of physical laws that one puts upon themselves, governs their internal state. You know, it's where the external governs your internal state, because there's a belief system around, if I do this, that's not going to be received well, or if I do this, that's, you know, going to lead me to being perceived this way. You know, it's all about those limitations that one sets upon themselves, and how they can kind of limit the potential realities that become accessible to them, you know, based upon that belief and how that impacts. And I'm hearing actually blocks not their frequency, but it kind of blocks their creative life force from being able to actually create. It kind of doesn't allow you to create in this realm as expansively as you would be able to if you kind of were shedding free from those belief systems. So again, it's like you're bursting out of that old skin of some kind and any attachments to that identity. So yeah, it's almost like you're mastering matter because you're mastering your mind. You're beginning to shape your mind with love, and that's shaping your reality, right, of the highest possible octave possible. So yeah, the distance between two events has already happened on a quantum level, and now you're being told to enjoy the scenery as you witness the unfoldment of the becoming. I'm hearing not just into a new life, but also becoming into the highest version of yourself as well. So yeah, it's a beautiful energy. I'm excited to see what's going on, so let's go ahead and do that. Right, okay, let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick one for this, so let's take a look at you. Okay, there's two cards I kind of want to pull at once, so maybe I'm hearing you could hit two birds with one stone in that way. Right, we have the thinking woman. Okay, this I'm feeling is an aspect of yourself. This talks about the presence of a powerful teacher in your life, because you have yin and yang, which is about the internal and external, the masculine and the feminine, and the alchemical marriage. So this could be the presence of the powerful teacher in your life being you, or the non-physical aspect of yourself. So I'm hearing like your soul, excuse me, like what the heck, like your soul is trying to show you a way where there appears to be no way, right? That's definitely the energy. It's almost like you're prepared to be taken down a complete different trajectory. That completely did a 180 as well. So there's something around the powerful teacher within you is trying to help you when it comes to your life doing a 180. That's definitely the energy that is giving me too. Never coincidences, only things coinciding. So let's see as well. I also wanted to get one of these messages around you, so let's do that. Yeah, prepare for your life to do 180. Eight of Lotuses and the King of Chalices. Okay, Eight of Lotuses is an Eight of Cups moment, so it's somebody having to walk away from some kind of comfort zone, or maybe like a comfortable way of doing things in some way, in order to make room for something new. So there's something that you're clearing. Now, the King of Chalices talks about your internal state governing your external factors, so this is actually something that you should feel empowered by, because you know that you're making room for something new. And I'm hearing there is magic in that release. Okay, it's in the release where the magic happens for you. And yeah, it's almost like you're orchestrating something completely new. You can even see how he's kind of in that water, he's redirecting the water, right? And this is also the peacemaker. So there's something about making peace with your past, and also making peace with, you know, the way that things once were. You have the Lovers here at the base, which talks about the opening of higher timelines as well, where somebody can basically choose to, you know, align their actions in the physical with their comfort zone in some way. But that's also, you know, a contradiction towards everything that they've ever wanted, which is on the other side of their comfort zone. So in that knowing, I'm hearing, it's like you can't unlearn what it is that you've learned about that. Where, what was the energy that was coming through? Yeah, you can't unlearn that. Like, you can't unknow that. So now there's some kind of discomfort that's now surpassing the comfort that you've once had, because there is in reality the realization and remembering that you were the only one blocking yourself off from, yeah, you were the one kind of like blocking yourself off. There's no one else actually doing this. There's only the illusion of that. It's where you're kind of holding yourself back from opening up to all that you ever could be, which is like a huge, I'm hearing, pill to swallow actually. So maybe some of you feel like, you know, it's that type of energy. It's like the human condition is lifting. We're looking at, you know, the infinite quantum paths, right, that are available to you, and you're seeing what needs to go in order to be able to reach that, right? Yeah, soul star activation, remembering who you are and fulfilling soul contracts. So this is something that you've been contracted to do. And then we also have this Seraphim as well. Does Spirit want to show my fit, or like what's going on? Like, anyway, so fulfilling soul contracts, Seraphim's gateway here at the base. So again, this is like the non-physical aspects of yourself as well. Even behind that, we have Akashic Stargate, which talks about the collapsing of timelines, a rift through space and time, opening up a new, you know, galactic portal that literally leads to an accelerated timeline of events. The Seraphim's Gateway is almost a non-physical forces that are assisting you in this activation, okay, in this collapsing of events. Soul Star, we literally opened it right on this page, and it talks about Horus energy. So Horus is the result of the alchemical marriage. It's Isis energy plus Osiris energy, so it's where the non-physical aspect of yourself has incarnated into this physical vessel. And once they come into that alchemical marriage, right, that union, they begin to create that triad. They begin to create in the third dimension. So there's something about, you know, you're stepping into creator mode, being a sovereign creator instead of just a passive observer of your reality. And I'm hearing this is leading to others having a hypnotic fascination in regards to your creations right now, because they're wondering what had shifted inside of you in order to have this kind of malleable, I'm seeing like somebody have the reality at their fingertips. So it's almost like you have this malleable energy at your fingertips. Anyway, through your previous journeys, you've learned much about your inner workings of your soul, about the cycles of karma. And before this incarnation, you set a powerful intention to remember your divine origins. And again, you've remembered yourself, right, as such. So at this point, you are in a powerful space for you are remembering all who you truly are and who you've always been, and your ability to make a great difference in your life and the lives of those you love, and of course the world. This remembering is in alignment with your soul contracts you made before coming to this realm. If you find yourself worrying if you're making the right decisions, know that even if you aren't conscious of it all that you've chosen so far is in accordance with your soul's evolutionary plan. And when you draw this gateway, you're opening up on higher levels, and that's exactly what's going on. you're opening up on higher levels in some way. And I was hearing a new level, a new devil. So this is like a new shadow aspect of yourself, or I'm hearing the relationship you have to that devil aspect, the relationship that you have to your own, like, again, limiting belief systems or things of this nature. And I'm hearing you're cultivating, again, we have unbound, so this is something you're releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. And you're not just releasing and alchemizing, I'm seeing those belief systems for yourself, but also the belief systems that you had inherited ancestrally, okay? So as you release yourself from that, you also begin to release your ancestral bloodline. They can also ascend into a higher octave, again, a higher state of being, where they're higher dense matter of being a bioplasma being. So this is a matter existing in a higher level, a higher octave, you know, where the oscillation of that cell and that organism is vibrating very, very rapidly, right? It's like the Merkaba body is what I'm seeing, is no longer bound by the physical, right? Slower oscillations in this physical dense, in this dense plane. And we're seeing belief systems that are bound and limited to that of the earth. Okay, and I'm hearing like the old earth versus the new earth. So this is like the old way of being versus the new way of being. Kind of weigh that dense matter down, and it pulls it into a slow spiritual amnesia of some kind. But this is something that you've been able to clear, where you're rising above worldly circumstances, you're detaching from the construct of this matrix, and you're returning to, you know, your internal different kind of relationship that you have to this matrix. And there's something around you're always coming in and out of these cycles and these ebbs and flows as well. But you're always on a path of ascension. It's like you can always look at that from a different perspective. Again, every time you view life through the lens of fear, you're like, that's weird, actually, that actually does not belong to me. Where does that belong to? Let's get to the root of that. You know, it's almost like you're curious, you're more exploring where those thoughts come from. I'm hearing some of you with such clear channels and conduits that sometimes the things that you're picking up on are that of the collective. So it's almost like, where is this coming from? Like, that's weird. Like, well, you know, what's going on? You know, it's like you're mastering all of these different nomadic layers, and I'm seeing all the way down to the up to the 𝓷𝓭𝓪 layers for some of you as well. Like, you've had that full you know, integration relationship with all different, you know, fractals of yourself existing in different octaves that are just projected from your internal networks. But yeah, your internal networks are leading you to new external places and to do new external things as well, is what I'm seeing. But yeah, we have protection, so soul retrieval. It's almost like you're no longer, again, this pure creative life force that's entangling itself with, you know, certain belief systems that I'm hearing obstruct your vision. Okay, that obstruct your vision. Right, let's get one more message for you. We have messenger, right? Sirius energy, our star, our spiritual sun, bringing harmony and balance. So yeah, very interesting energy with Sirius. It's also the dog star. Sirius is also Osiris, so this is also the physical realm and transcending into a high octave in the physical realm. Literally just what I spoke about as you release this lower dense matter. Okay, so keep doing what you're doing. I can't remember really much of what I just said, but I know it hit, so because I'm feeling kind of good right now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I should probably just go because I can't really tell you much. Yeah, it's like memories like just been wiped. So anyway, thank you for listening, right? With what we spoke about, thank you for listening. And yeah, thank you for letting me read this energy. I mean, it looks beautiful. So if you're not already subscribed to this channel, do consider subscribing. I'd love to have you around. Personal reads are also down below. Okay, yeah, it was the astral travel. And if you're not joined to our Discord server and you want to connect with a bunch of like-minded individuals, do consider doing that. Also, check out Auto Spirit's discount code down below if you're looking for some high quality AAA grade jewelry for all of your manifestation intentions. And I will speak to you guys very, very soon. Until next time, bye.